Hey everybody, welcome back to the AI Masterclass for Training Business CEOs. This is part 2.7, Accelerating Learning Content Development, Creating Coaching Guides. My name is Dario Priolo and I will be your instructor for this module. So, if you think about what we've been working our way through, we run a real estate school in Florida. We're building a course on foreign real estate ownership restrictions in Florida. We've gone through these first 6 aspects through this course. We've identified learning objectives, we created a course title, we created a course outline, we created learning activities, we wrote a script for an e-learning video, and we just created assessment questions. All very cool. Now we're going to create the coaching guide. And the coaching guide is so important because coaching really helps drive performance. It's so essential, but it's one of these things in the learning and development world that is just often overlooked. Okay, we work so hard to create courses, and then when it comes to creating the coaching guides, we just don't follow through with it. And I think half the time we're just exhausted. We don't have the time, we don't have the energy, we don't have the inclination, and it does require a certain amount of expertise that we may or may not have. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a coaching guide, and you can look at our prompts. We're going to go back to the learning objectives. So for each learning objective, create a coaching activity for our manager to reinforce the learning. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to exit out of here. Let's come back to our doc, and that's the cool thing here about just tracking everything as we work through this process. So here we have the learning objectives. Let's take these learning objectives. We'll come back here to Claude, and I'm going to say for the following learning objectives, create a coaching activity for each. The coaching activity will be done by the learner's manager, who may not be an expert coach. So give clear instructions, and I can say follow a well-established coaching model. Well, let's just do this for now. So give clear instructions. So here we go here. So I'm gonna click on that. So this is really clear. So coaching activities for learning objective 1. Instructions for the manager. You can see we're working our way through everything. Working. Up to learning objective 4, and you can see here it has very detailed instructions, which we'll see. Okay, so we have 5 learning objectives, and we have, so let's look at the first one here. So coaching activity for learning objective 1. Instructions for the manager. Schedule a role play session with the learner where they will practice explaining Senate Bill 264 to a client. Act as a client who is unfamiliar with the bill and has concerns about how it may impact their real estate transaction. Assess the learner's ability to communicate the key provisions with the bill clearly, address the client's concerns, and ensure understanding of the obligations and potential risks. Provide feedback on the learner's communication skill information. So again, those are pretty clear instructions for a coach. Let's look at this one here. So this is for learning objective 2, instructions. Provide the learner with a hypothetical client scenario that may or may not fall under the purview of Senate Bill 264. Have the learner demonstrate their ability to tactfully gather necessary information from the client to determine applicability of this bill. Assess the learner's communication skills, ability to ask relevant questions, and maintain client confidentiality and trust throughout this process, and then offer feedback on the learner's approach, highlighting strengths and areas for improvement in gathering information about the client. So again, just really good instruction here. Now what I want to do here, I want to just hone in on this. So it says provide the learner with a hypothetical client scenario that may or may not fall under the purview of Senate Bill 264. So let's do this here. Let's go here, and I want to ask Claude to provide a brief case study, or how about for the learner with a hypothetical client, and let's say that falls under the purview of the bill. Let's say create a brief role play. Well, let's do this. Let's just do this one first. So we want to let's provide the scenario. So here we can get a scenario. So, yep, you're a real estate agent in Miami, Florida. You receive a call from a potential client named Mr. Chen. During your initial conversation, you learn the following information. Okay, Mr. Chen is a wealthy businessman from China, interested in purchasing real estate in Miami, plans to use the property as a vacation home for his family and a potential investment. Mr. Chen is prepared to make an all-cash offer, wants to close the deal quickly. He has not decided on the exact property, but he has a budget of $5 million. So, as the conversation progresses, Mr. Chen asks about the process of purchasing real estate in Florida as a foreign investor. He seems unfamiliar with the recent changes introduced by Senate Bill 264 and expresses concerns about how this may impact his transaction. So your task is to identify that Mr. Chen's potential transaction falls under the bill, demonstrate your ability to tactfully gather the necessary information, educate Mr. Chen on the key provisions of the bill, and how they may impact his purchase, ensuring he understands his obligations and potential risks, and then provide guidance and support to Mr. Chen throughout the conversation, positioning yourself as a knowledgeable and trustworthy advisor. So you can see here, this is a really, really good scenario that I think is very relevant for, again, very helpful now for a sales manager who is assisting one of their people to learn the bill and to practice on it. So let's take these coaching scenarios. Let's take them. Let's copy them into our document here. Let's call this coaching guide. Coaching guide. We'll paste this in, and then within the coaching guide, let's just go here. So here's the hypothetical client situation. We'll come back here to Claude, and now what we can do is we can copy this in. And again, this just gives more information to the sales manager, so they don't have to, again, go through the effort of making up the scenario. So here we go. Here's the potential scenario. So again, and all this can be worked into a coaching guide, right? And clients will pay for coaching guides. That's the beauty of this. The coaching guide is a value add, and it's really helpful to drive better learning, puts more money in your pocket, and it helps the client be more successful. So hopefully that gives you a good flavor of how you can start to build out the content of your coaching guides. And this is always, again, just an overlooked but very valuable activity. Really hope you enjoyed it. The next lesson is going to be great. It's on generating images, and there is a brand new edition of ChatGPT that just came out that is an amazing image generator. We'll cover that, and so really, really make sure that you come back for this next section. And thanks so much for joining us.